Hey, it's Brad Parker, Crystal Palace fan, and you are listening to the Drunkard United Football Show. It's a parade
of old managers.
Oh, yeah, it is not a parade right now for Palace supporters, but yeah, nor has, you know what? It was probably a parade for you on Friday night.
Yeah, it was definitely a parade.
You know, talking to Taylor a little bit in the middle of the night, nice and drunk.
It was a parade.
That's beautiful. Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Snub of my lord. Looks great in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, everybody's favorite pop punk frontman, Samuel Graham. Sammy, how you doing?
I'm doing fine now. How are you?
Remember, you got to have your reset word, which is obviously when you're doing the post-punk voice. You! Right, that's the reset word, right? Just like every time I do a British accent. Yeah, right.
Right, yeah.
Right,
That's
right,
all right.
right.
That's all
You have to have
right,
your
yeah.
reset word that gets you back to your accent. That's why you do the whole Scot, Irish, Anglo mix blend, Cuban, Danish thing that you
Fuck
do.
off, man. Fuck off.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Excellent.
Good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Had a lot going on. What a wild, wacky weekend of football it was.
Yes. And I was thinking about this because also, of course, right now is March Madness as well. I was thinking about it how I always say this is like March Madness on steroids, except for now March Madness is March Madness on
Yeah.
steroids.
That was wild, too. That whole tournament.
Nobody's bracket is
No.
any good anymore.
That's crazy. And then I also, we're not going to talk about the FA Cup in this show, obviously.
Right, that's going to be on
that's
injury
going to be
time.
on injury time, which patreon.com/The Football Show. $5 a month gets you access to that show, as well as Soundcheck, which is our other pre-show, actual Soundcheck, which is very good.
That's my
quite
hoe.
funny. Anyway, but I'd have to bring to the table is I'm torn between two schools of thought here with Fulham and what happened.
Right.
Either they're so polite they didn't want to stand in Manchester United's way, so they decided to shoot themselves in the foot, or they're like Ned Flanders finally snapped and just went fucking postal because it was very un-Fulhamish what they did.
I'm going with the latter. I'm definitely going with the latter. We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. Please be sure to rate, subscribe, review, and share with a footballing friend. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they get in touch.
Sure, it is at DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Lovely. Also, be sure to check out our Drip Shack. It's on all of our link tree is posted on all of our social medias.
Yes, it is.
You check out our Drip Shack. We got a cool little cartoon image that got done for us that Mel commissioned that's really fun. And we love seeing people with pint glasses with alcohol and tagging us on Instagram. Graham fucking loves it. So
Sure do.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So is the red-blooded Americans we are. We've got to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Mr. Graham, the list continues. We are on to number 7.
Yes, we are. This is the Blue Note Juke Joint Uncut. This one comes in at 59.1%, comes to you at number 7. The panel rated it a 92. And for those of you keeping track at home, 59.1 would be 118.2 proof. Your blurb comes to you from Julia Higgins of the Whisky Advocate tasting panel. And this is what she had to say. While this is bottled in Memphis, Tennessee by BR Distilling, Blue Note Juke Joint is a Kentucky straight bourbon. And it's a big one. That's due in large part to being bottled at barrel proof, coming in at 59.1% ABV. The nose is fruit forward, evoking freeze-dried strawberries, strawberry blow pop, cherry cobbler, pumpkin pie, and black tea with honey. I get a lot more of the black tea with honey than I do any of the fruit notes.
On the nose, absolutely.
Personally. The palate is hot, but not to its detriment, and it's wonderfully creamy throughout. Chocolate-covered cherries are at the fore, joined by lemon poppy seed muffin, fresh squeezed lemon, grated ginger, brown sugar, cinnamon, oatmeal, and a hint of licorice. The finish is long, inviting you to take another sip. I don't disagree necessarily with a lot she said.
A lot of citrus.
There's a big citrus to it.
Yeah.
I always find it funny in these blurbs, though, the specificity with which they name certain things.
Lemon poppy seed muffin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I don't know if I get poppy seed.
You know what? Say lemon scone.
Yeah,
Fine.
That's fine. Yeah, we're good. Lemon muffin. Lemon cake.
If I really think about it, I can taste some strawberry.
I definitely get chocolate covered cherry as far as what is a ripe, like a juicy fruit in this. It's definitely
There's
that.
definitely some graininess, like the oatmeal. Like I can understand that. And then there's definitely a little bit of licorice on the finish. I can understand that. And I probably should have told you that this will run you right around $45 on the shelf, but it's not one that is regularly available.
Not available in this market. This is one
In
I had
Maryland
to buy
at all.
online.
We had to buy online. Yeah,
So-
but we still had to pay a little bit extra for it.
Yeah, it
as
wasn't a
result
ton.
of that.
Wasn't a ton. Again, we'll just buy
So
it
just-
online in general too. You'll figure it out there, stud. You'll figure it out. No. You'll figure it out. Look at it. There you go. There's a page that shouldn't be in there.
let's see it.
How about that?
Okay. All right.
Folding is fun.
All right. You know what? Make another TikTok.
or well, I mean, we're talking about Father of the Year here. Remember,
That's right. Goddamn right I am.
I denied you the opportunity to provide for your daughter with a small soccer ball as I beat you in trivia. Remember, always
forgot
remember
about that, yeah.
World Cup trivia. I beat you.
Barely. Fucking barely.
Was better than you. That's what you need to remember. It's
Okay.
very important to know.
You were alive for more of them than I was, which also means you're closer to death.
Remember, anything that's happening to me, it's only a matter of time before it happens to you, fucker. So enjoy that. This whiskey is absolutely fantastic.
Once I got it on ice, it was a lot better. Again, it was that creamy mouthfeel came out, the that kind of stuff that she described in her blurb. You start to taste a lot more of that. It opened the whiskey up a lot more. Just straight, it was good. Like, it wasn't bad, but it was hot.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't get past much of the alcohol up front. I had to wait for it to kind of dissipate in my mouth before I was able to really kind of taste some things. But this is excellent.
If this was readily available in our market, I would buy this.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say, for those of you outside of the local area, if you find it, definitely buy it. It's worth the price of admission. That is just really, really good bourbon. It really is. And we've been talking about, there's been a couple that we've had so far where we're just like, yeah, this is just old school good bourbon. I'm seeing, at least on this list, there was that Hardens that was like, I want to say it was like 18 or 19, right? And then you get to this, or like, God, what was, I'm forgetting who the other bourbon we had in there was. Oh, the
Nelson
Nelsons,
Brothers?
yeah, which was good. I'm seeing a progression as far as the quote bourbons go on this list, and I'm going, yep,
I like where they're headed.
progressively better,
more mouthfeel, more flavorful as we've gone through the list.
Yeah,
And they seem to be. A lot of times we'll do this at the end where we'll sit down and we'll go, out of these 20, I'd probably say number 4 was my favorite whiskey on the list, or whatever.
right.
Right.
What really popped to you? What
exactly?
What impressed the shit out of you?
I think in general, they have ranked these bourbons, especially as you say, in perfect order so far.
Yeah. I would say I think there was a miss. Now, obviously, there's spoiler alert. There's going to be another 2 more Irish whiskeys to go. But I would say I enjoy the Limavady. It's a great whiskey. I really preferred the Bushmills 12.
Yeah,
I think both of those were better than the Teelings. And the Teelings, and again, we're talking about how much salt somebody added to a dish here, right? Like we're really dissecting the minutia of fucking
with both of us in our lifestyles, more the better.
Yeah.
Just like whiskey.
Yeah. What else should we always do, Mr. Graham?
Always remember to add salt.
Yeah.
Drink responsibly, please.
Well, that's. I'm going to cheers Mel since your glass doesn't like to work at all. Look at that.
I'll do it on my own. Fuck you.
There you go.
Fuck
Come
yourself.
on, I'm still going to cheers you, jackass. I love you, brother. Come on, we gotta do it right?
Yes, sir.
We started the week on Wednesday with the El Gatwico. We finished with Palace losing a second match in a week and with a different manager on the sidelines. Brighton 1, Crystal Palace 0, Arsenal 4, Crystal Palace 1. Palace finally get a shot on goal. In fact, they got a couple 2-3, and they had a couple of chances early in the Gatwico. I mean,
Yes,
they
did.
looked, in my opinion, they looked lively enough. I mean, I don't think where they are right now is necessarily a product of anything they're doing wrong. They just had a bad run in, man.
So I think they did have a bad run in, but I think part of it has to do with their age. You know, they lowered the overall age of the squad very quickly when Patrick Vieira took over in the first place. And I don't know that there was necessarily an experienced head to go along with that, to help some of these kids along. But a lot of them missing chances was down to their own indecision.
Right.
So think of the Olise chances, the one that really sticks out in my mind, where he was played through the middle, ball was bouncing. He should have lobbed the goalkeeper 2 times before the ball bounced just into the goalkeeper's hands.
Right.
Like, he just couldn't make the decision. He couldn't take the responsibility to do it. Now, that will come with age. We've seen Olise's quality, right? On free kicks. We've seen his quality in his finishing, earlier in Patrick Vieira's tenure. But the consistency, that's something like Bukayo Saka is so celebrated,
Right.
plays the same position, right? He makes those decisions. He finds it quickly. I'm going to do this. Whether it comes off or not, I'm going to do it. Olise just kind of, should I shoot? Oh, he's got it. Yeah. And it's like, that will just come with experience when he gets there. But right now, it's very frustrating, and they've been on a terrible run. And yes, they're in 12th. But they're only 3 points out of the drop.
Oh, also, now I think they're 4 because, by the way, remember last week, the division between 12th and 20th was 5 points?
Yes.
Newsflash, that is now 4 points.
Yes.
Between 12th and 20th. And because of that, we find ourselves at the end of this match. Palace decide to sack Patrick Vieira.
Strange one.
Seemingly out of nowhere. I mean,
strange one in my opinion. And so from the relegation zone, they're only 3 points clear.
Yeah. Oh, okay. My apologies. It's Wolves that are 4.
From the bottom of the table, from 20th place Southampton, they're only 4 points clear.
Right.
Yeah. But West Ham and Bournemouth have 24 points while Palace has 27. And Palace only has a better goal differential than Bournemouth.
All right. Okay. So
anyway,
real quick.
But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right about Vieira. It's a weird time, in my opinion. They're coming off a horrible run of teams. You're absolutely right about that as well. We spoke off air about that. It's a strange one, man. I don't really know what Steve Parrish is doing.
All right, look, I'm going to go ahead because this is a Crystal Palace segment, and that's what we're going to talk about, right? So, Sam, you're on the clock. 45 seconds. Go ahead, pull it out, start stroking it, start ranting and raving about your boys.
I like to be quiet when I stroke it.
Okay.
It doesn't help for a podcast.
Things we didn't need to know by Sam Graham.
So, Arsenal were excellent. They were on it really after the first 5 minutes. Palace had their bit of a jaunt, and Arsenal took control of the game, kept control of the game until about maybe 12 minutes worth of time in the second half. But for the other 73 minutes, Arsenal were dominant. They kept the ball. They did everything they needed to do. Perfect response from Martinelli after missing the penalty against Sporting in the Europa League, which could curtail his confidence, could be detrimental to the season. He comes out, bang, goal, opens the scoring.
Oh, by the way, don't look now. He's, I think, 4th in the league in scoring.
And second on Arsenal. I think Saka has 12. He has 11 in the league. So we're sharing the goals around. Everybody's getting involved. Gabby Jesus is back. He got his first couple minutes against Sporting. Now he's back out there again with a cameo here. Excuse me. Everything's looking up. Everything's looking good. Team looks solid. Tomiyasu got injured, which is not great. Not what we wanted to see necessarily, because that leaves Ben White by his lonesome.
Right.
So some of that kind of stuff, I think.
And Ben White's also your center backup in case someone in
Potentially,
the
but we have
middle.
that Polish guy we bought too,
Right, true, very
Jakub
true.
Kivar. But it was fine. It was a great result. I'm not sure what Paddy McCarthy's supposed to do in that situation, having only experienced the Premier League for 26 total minutes prior to this. The Palace.
All right, that's it. Time's up. 45 seconds.
I'm talking about Palace. Palace were organized.
All
They
right.
were decent.
You know what? I'd rather have somebody else talk about Palace because, I always love to say you can just call your happy ass in. It is Mr. fucking Parade himself, all the way from fucking Narnia. We welcome Brad to the show. Brad, how you doing, buddy?
I'm having a lemon poppy seed muffin right now. I'm not having whiskey. I don't know.
I can't believe my fucking luck. Jesus Christ.
Always coming in with
Your
the
boy.
references. The man pays attention. That's why we always have him on the show. He's fucking brilliant. I allow me just to get this started, and I'm going to turn it over to you, and we'll shoot questions at you here. Absolute mistake to let Vieira go. He hadn't lost the team. The players were still playing for him. They had a really shit run of schedule, and they seemed to be fine. The floor is yours, sir.
/ injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're exactly right. We were playing everyone above us, and the rest of the way we play all the teams around us and below us. And I have no idea why this happened. But now after it happens, you hear stories about they almost sacked them last February, a year ago, when they were playing great and were on their way to Wembley, and they were ready to get rid of them. So I don't know if you're going to do this right now because you're afraid of relegation. Have a plan.
Yeah.
They didn't have a plan, clearly, because we're now going backwards 7 years. And the whole thing about Palace over the last couple of years is we were optimistic because you bring in somebody like Vieira. The players love him. Players come to Palace because he's there. And then you're going to go back to Roy Hodgson? What was happening with Palace is they're not scoring goals. He changed the way they played from last year because Gallagher's gone. So they didn't buy Gallagher. And then they didn't buy a Gallagher type.
Well,
they
thought they had him in Eze, but then Eze got hurt.
Yeah,
because Eze was in that
right.
role most of the season until he sustained his injury and put him out for a couple of months. But part of what I've heard, because Patrick Vieira news gets shoved down our throats also, is that he was not the same as a manager as he was on the field as the defensive midfielder for Arsenal Football Club. He was not as hard. He was more like a field mouse. And for the Owl to be called in and swoop in after him makes perfect sense, to be honest.
Well, it's 100% true. And I get it. That's great.
Thank you.
But,
you can see he's on the phone, and I can see the gears turning as that joke came in.
But so Sean Derry was on the staff, has been there forever. Everybody loves him. He's earlier this year, Vieira forced him out. And the story is that after one of their crap games, he came in and was given, he was going at the players. And then Vieira came in, saw it, and said, he's overstepping his bounds. I want him out of here. But the interesting part is that he left, but Palace didn't fire him. He's on, one of my favorite British terms, gardening leave. They're still paying him to sit at home. So I kind of thought what was about to happen was Sean Derry or Paddy McCarthy was going to take over the team. And then they'd bring in, and I said this to my buddies last week, they'll bring in Roy as, to sit in the office and talk to these guys and help them out.
Like a
they're not going to bring him back. Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, they brought him back. It's shocking. And then, we talk about the lack of they didn't back Vieira. Now, I'm not saying everything that Vieira did was perfect. I think he truly changed the way he managed and the style the team was playing, even though it was the same formation. Because even the first time we played Arsenal in the first game of the season, we were going for it. And then we did the same thing a few nights later against Liverpool. But suddenly, I think he might have gotten a little scared and pulled back and started playing defensive, parking the bus, and we stopped scoring. But even in those 11 games where we didn't have a win before Sunday's fiasco, it was 5 losses, 6 draws.
Yeah, draws, and like you look at one of the losses, the Man City one was it was a fluke, one fucking mistake away from being a draw.
But the other piece of that too is during that run, Zaha was injured for a bit. Eze was injured for a bit, right?
Yep.
Now I have my own problems.
And now Anderson.
Correct. I have my own problems as a player watching, especially on Sunday, because I don't watch Palace as closely as you do, obviously. But on Sunday, specifically against Arsenal, and the punditry actually picked up on it, and I'm surprised because the two Robbies don't normally call out individual players for their poor performance as they did with Wilf on Sunday. But the lack of, you've got a young back line for the most part, especially on Palace's left side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
And Wilf just gave up twice, and 2 Arsenal goals were scored off the back of it. And they were both his assignments that did the dirty work.
They were comparing him and Saka directly, and they were like, Wilf probably has more creativity and is probably a better overall player, but Saka
tackled back
work
at least 3 times.
Like Saka
He's got the
have
mentality.
An ego, just does the job.
But when Zaha
and Wilf was doing that earlier in the season.
Right. But like you look at his body language when Saka rolled that one into the far post, and he was supposed to be marking Saka, and he just throws his hands up like it's somebody else's fault. It's like, what does that do to the rest of the team? And he's one of the more senior players there. What I personally, just as a player, what I think Palace are lacking is exactly which is ironic, what Vieira brought to Arsenal, right? Mm-hmm. On the field. When things were going poorly, Vieira didn't listen to Wenger. Vieira got the players together in the center of the field before kickoff and went, fuck you, the next 5 minutes are fucking mine. This is what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're lacking that. They're lacking that general on the field. They're lacking that leadership from the playing standpoint. There's nobody to pull them up by their bootstraps.
The closest thing we have is James MacArthur, and he's been hurt all year.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, exactly.
And Milivojevic used to be that guy as well, and Milivojevic just hasn't been playing. He's old now. He doesn't care.
His job is to fill in because one of the young guys is hurt. You know?
The answer is 75-year-old Roy the Boy.
Yeah, apparently.
He's the man.
Here's
one other thing though is you have. I mentioned how they didn't back Vieira. We have Steve Parrish, obviously, and then 2 different sets of Americans investing in this club, right? One of them is Josh Harris, who it just came out. He's spending $6 billion to buy the Washington Commanders, but you couldn't get us a striker.
Yeah, what the hell? Like, you're buying an NFL team, which regularly loses a shit ton of money, where an English Premier League team actually makes you a little money if you're smart about it.
They were also finalists for Chelsea earlier this year, or last year.
Here's a question I think now, I mean, this is interesting as we have, 4 white people talk about this, but with Vieira, this needs to be mentioned if you look at it. Yeah,
I would quickly say to that point, it's important that we talk about it.
Absolutely. What makes no sense to me is with Vieira, you have a young black manager and you have a multitude, literally an entire starting lineup, if you wanted to do it, of young black players. And you can't think for a second, like maybe his approach was different because he's working with kids that are like him. And maybe it's maybe the process isn't, take them on the back and scream at them and skull fuck them because they missed an assignment.
Right.
Maybe it's, hey, you deal with enough shit in life. You have enough fucking idiot English people tweeting you racist bullshit on a regular basis.
Yep.
and now you go with the old fucking
And-
white guy again?
Well,
like,
And
Now, hold on,
where's
Brad,
Palace
I'm
based?
sorry. 1 second. The other piece to that, specifically with Patrick Vieira being Senegalese born, French international, and we've spoken many times about how the French have dealt with their colonized people coming through their ranks in their system
Yeah.
and being citizens of their country. You look at somebody like Wilf Zaha, who represents the country of his father, the Ivory Coast, versus England.
right.
Yeah, where he was born, and that identity crisis. Patrick, and I'm sure there's a few other people, Mark Guehi in the back, that have these sort of identity crises within themselves as well. Who better to deal with that than Vieira? And that shared that exact experience. So not only young black manager, young black players, you also have their exact situation in their identity crisis as well. I'm sorry to cut you off, dude. I just want to make sure we made that point as well.
No, that's fine. No, that's a great point. And Zaha was born in Ivory Coast, by the way. He moved here when he was a couple years old. Here.
For all
we're in
intents and
London.
purposes, yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
He
we're
was
in London.
2-3 years old.
Grew up
All
in
right.
London. He grew up in the shadow of Selhurst Park.
Correct.
But
yeah.
and that's another part of this is that they're the club of South London. Like that's the most diverse area
Correct.
Oh,
for
absolutely.
hundreds of miles, and that's where so much talent comes from.
Yep. Big
So
time.
much black talent, young black players are all from there. They call it the concrete Catalonia.
That's a
Right,
fantastic
yeah.
name.
And now there's no black managers.
Yeah, I'm baffled by the move because I don't. Did you lose the locker room? No, those players
No.
were still playing for him. You look at that City match, his boys are still playing for him.
Yep.
Like you look at the Brighton match, the boys were playing for him.
Mhm.
Like typically, you get rid of a manager because there's a divide, and the message isn't getting to the players anymore. And you're basing it all off of results when the results are based off of you're playing all the best fucking teams in the league, but you managed a bunch of draws against them. Why is that bad? Like,
It sure seems like they were looking for an excuse because all I was been thinking is he's getting points. He's scraping out points. And the teams were catching up to us, but we stayed in 12th week after week after week, even when we were losing. And now you get to play all those teams at the bottom and you get rid of them. It just doesn't sit right.
and Roy's going to rattle off a bunch of 1-0 wins, and it's going to be like, oh, that was the right answer. It'd have been like, it would have been the right fucking answer if you just let Vieira keep coaching.
Yeah.
Like,
I
it
mean,
would have been fine.
this is going to be the easiest escape of relegation battle ever.
It
Better be. But you took a team that can't score goals and brought in Roy Hodgson.
Yeah, what are you offering there? Like he's not gonna
Right.
he's not an offensive genius. He's not gonna
No.
he's also not going to get young players to listen to him about offensive strategy. What will likely happen is all of those young players will try to do it all themselves. You'll see Wilf going back to doing it himself.
Well, I love Arsenal did their part, and Patrick Vieira obviously wore the number 4 for the Arsenal for many, many years, and we did our part in paying tribute to the great man by scoring 4 against you.
That was nice. Thank
So
you.
yeah, no problem. I just want to send him off in style, you know.
You know, it wasn't that long ago that our concern at Palace was that Arteta was going to get fired and you guys were going to come out.
yeah.
And now you're champions elect and we have an 88-year-old manager.
An 88-year-old owl.
And behind the curtain.
And by the way, you know, we always, every summer in the preview show, we're like, well, Wolf actually stayed. This year, his contract's up.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I think he'll stay again, and you know why? For the same reasons I
Because
mentioned.
nobody wants him.
Well, because of his attitude.
Yeah.
I mean, look at his body language.
Yeah.
You know, he's the way that they speak to referees, right? Wilf Zaha and the player I'm about to mention are very, very fucking similar.
Mm-hmm.
The production value for the second player is higher, and that's Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
They clap in referees' faces. They shake their fingers. They do everything. Oh, I didn't do it.
The difference,
All this kind of
the
stuff.
difference is Wilf's the most fouled player in the league for the last decade. And Bruno Fernandes just does it because he's a jerk.
Called fouls, not actual fouls.
Yeah.
Go watch tapes of Freddie Ljungberg who actually got hit. Please.
Oh my God, Wilf gets killed every game because that's the only thing you have to do to stop us until last year.
Yeah, true. Very
No,
true.
actually, all we have to do is get fingertips to something and then scorpion the ball behind for a corner.
All right, so
We had to post.
all right, so Brad, we're gonna send you off and finish the segment here. First and foremost, thank you for making the time. I mean, when I reached out to you just a couple of days ago, I was like, dude, I need you on the fucking show, and you immediately were like, hell yeah, I'm here. So thank you very much. Where do you think? Because there was something we talked about last week, and I know we all just kind of said, oh, it's going to be the easiest great escape ever. Are you at all concerned that because this team's been losing so much, when they start to play the bad teams who have been battling each other, getting wins, are you fearful at all that might, and it's going to be a two-parter, by the way, are you fearful at all that that the team forgot how to win? And two, what do you think is going to be the ultimate conclusion for your team at the end of this season?
I have not been concerned all season until now. This last week, you saw us. We came out against that team from the South, and we looked really good, and we were getting chance after chance after chance. They went down and scored. We dropped our shoulders. That game was over.
Right.
Same thing. Zaha hit the post against Arsenal early. A couple minutes later, Arsenal scores. It's over. That's what and then you fired your coach. It's an opportunity to bring in a breath of fresh air, bring in optimism, even if it's not a name. Like, there are plenty of names they could have gone after. They didn't even try.
Yeah.
They could have stayed within the club and given someone like McCarthy or Sean Derry a fresh chance at something. No, you're bringing back Roy because of his experience and the players know him. There's other people the players know. So, yeah.
Right, but for that, bring back Alan Pardew.
Right.
Yeah, at least it'd be, we'd score.
At least we get a wee dance on the sidelines. Fuck's sake.
Who was the guy who lasted 5 weeks for you guys? I'm forgetting
Frank de Boer.
Yeah, Frank de Boer.
Get it in.
Get it in.
He knows everybody.
He won 8 games at Atlanta United or whatever it was before he was fired. Fuck's sake.
And then nothing with the Netherlands. That guy's a disaster.
All right, so I do actually have one final question. Narnia, how's Narnia?
Man, it's amazing. Oh, by the way, I didn't say we'll end up 12th because we don't move. No,
what's funny is
That's a good answer.
I was like, how would I answer that question when Sam asked it to you? And I was like, 12th.
Every year we end up 12th or 14th, right?
Yeah.
So as long as we're 17th or higher, go hire somebody this summer. Narnia is amazing. Although I will say, having a pond behind our house with an alligator in it, when I heard Roy was coming back, I almost just walked back out there and said, Gator, go at it. I'm yours.
Take me.
Well, here's the thing, right? Roy will save them, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Save them.
Yeah.
But they didn't need saving, in my opinion.
I agree.
A trained circus seal could save this club with the schedule they have left.
Yeah.
We have one of those out back, too.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You ever just pour a whiskey and punt a beach ball out there?
100%. Oh, you know what's cool? We're down here in Narnia is Wilmington, North Carolina, for the few of you listening that don't know. Our younger daughter is in 10th grade. Her name is Lainey, and she's now going to Laney High School, where Michael Jordan went.
Oh, no shit.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Did you name her Lainey because you're such a huge Eminem fan?
No, it's
I'm joking.
You know.
I'm joking. God.
Oh my God.
Blessed. Please just let me have that. At least it made sense. How many things do I say on here that don't make sense?
Brad, anything you want to plug? I know you're still running the DC Twitter and all that good stuff. So please plug away.
Yeah, that's remote work doing the DC Palace Twitter from Wilmington. But
A lot of things from DC happen remotely, so it's okay. Don't worry about it. We've learned that over the last few years. Drain that swamp.
Yeah. And that's why I got out. We now that I'm down here living by the beach, I had to do what everybody does and start my own company because I can't go to somebody's office anymore. And I think you'll like the name, Upper 90 Studio. And graphic design, we're doing soccer uniforms and jerseys. If any other supporters groups out there, if you want a jersey for your supporters group or T-shirts, Brad at upper90studio.com.
You do fantastic work. We've gotten multiple things from you. I see all the stuff on Twitter you do with the jersey entries for different clubs that have been fantastic. So definitely check out Brad's work. He fucking knows what he's doing, and the shit's gonna look amazing.
Thanks, man.
Real quick, I saw a story over the weekend, and I didn't know any of this part of it.
Uh-huh.
I saw a story over the weekend of some guy that they said, LOL, shout out to the time when, I can't remember the city, but it was some city in America. He said this public library ran a contest to design their new public library cards, but they didn't tell them it was for kids. They didn't say that in the contest wording. So he was entered in against a bunch of 12-year-olds, and he was like, and I absolutely dominated. And they made me show up to City Hall to accept the award against the kids that he beat. And now that I know that Brad owns his own design company, that's all I can think of in my head.
Oh, I can totally see Brad turning around going, suck it! Yeah! Number one, baby!
Brilliant.
You suck at drawing.
That's so funny.
You have to see a movie called Bad Words with Jason Bateman. It's the same kind of story. He's a guy. He's Jason Bateman, his age, and he found a loophole in the rules for the local spelling bee.
Brilliant.
It's awesome.
That's funny as hell.
All right, Brad, thank you very much. And I'm rooting for you unless it's you and me. If it's you or me, then fuck you. You're going down.
That's fair.
But outside of that, I'm rooting for you, brother.
Hey, stay off the pitch this time.
Yeah, we're going to try to.
I was going to say, apparently a lot of your supporters feel that way. Given last season.
As I've talked about, my club being a banter club and my club being someone that people are actively rooting to go down, I get it. I fucking get it because we kind of deserve it right now.
Oh, man. That's brutal.
Dude, always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you, Brad.
Thanks, guys.
And that's why I love you, Brad. Thank you so much for joining us,
we
man.
love you. Yeah, I love you guys.
All right, man.
And producer Mel. Bye.
Southampton had 2 matches this week. The second had a thrilling finish and an even more thrilling post-match. Brentford 2, Southampton 0, Tottenham 3, Southampton 3. And again, kind of like we just did in the first segment, really the games are the afterthought. The Bees rebound from their loss, which was nice to see. They got the 2 points, and just not a very good output from the Saints. I was going to say, Graham, for me, I look at this game in the midweek, not a very good output, and then I look at what we're going to talk about with Everton coming on. There is a reason why Southampton is going to go down, and there is a reason why Everton is going to stay up. And the reason being is Southampton went to Brentford with a reason needing points, and they didn't get anything. There's a reason why Everton is going to stay up. Everton went to the bridge, went down twice, and figured out a way to get a fucking point.
Sean Dice loves the bridge.
True. Fair. Everton went to the bridge. Very fair. But I mean, I think when we look at those clubs and we look at what ultimately happens and how it all shakes out, I think it's matches like that that are going to be why one team survives and one team doesn't. It's that simple.
That's absolutely fair.
Now, beyond that, because I mean that's really all there is to say about that. Ivan Toney scored early. It helped me hit my bet. Woohoo! I finally hit a fucking bet.
Good for you.
And then they
I
scored.
still have it.
I mean, it was literally the normal 2-0, right? You score early, and then when they press late, you score in extra time, and you win 2-0.
There was that time when Jan Benderek got mad at Ivan Toney for no reason. That was funny. That had a right go at him as well.
Yeah, that's what you do.
And did you watch the highlights from this game? Or
Yes, I did. Of course.
did you hear the announcer the whole time was just, what is he doing there? There was no need to even do that. So pissed. And then when Benderek got pissed off, he's like, Tony hasn't done anything. He's jumped over him. There's no reason for this.
Mhm.
Why is he getting all upset about it? Just move on. This is why you're going to go down. He was all about it.
The reason why he got that upset is because they're currently in 20th place, and they were fucking annoyed.
It was like they put like the dad of Southampton on co-coms for this game. He was so annoyed the whole time and just mad at the whole situation. It was hysterical.
Moving on to Tottenham and Southampton. 4 injuries in the first half, including Richarlison in the first 3 minutes. I forget who it was for Southampton that had the head injury, but he was literally being walked off and the trainer had his arm around him and he was going the opposite direction of the trainer. Like he was holding him as he was just trying to walk, like the trainer is walking to the left and the player was walking to the right. And it was only the trainer's arm that was keeping him wrangled in. It was
not pretty.
No.
But Richarlison, I never want to see a player injured. You know that. That's not.
Of course not.
I don't like that at all. However, Richarlison started crying, and any chance I can see that, I'll fucking take it.
Heard.
I don't really care what it is, although I do feel a little bad for him. But seeing him cry outweighs how bad I feel.
Yeah. So, but Tottenham figures it out, right? They go up 3-1, and then they blow it. They fucking blow it.
They do, and that sparked.
Hold on 1 second here.
There is something else I have to mention also. Go ahead, you first.
I was going to say, we do need
you
to
show
mention...
me yours and I'll show you mine.
Well, a couple of things. Theo Walcott doing what Theo Walcott does.
Scoring against Tottenham.
Exactly.
Yes, yep.
And the second thing, that penalty.
So there's all right. So now I have 2 things to say.
Okay.
But it replaces the one that you said. So Theo Walcott, yes.
Yeah.
Bang. Arsenal connection, obviously. Ainsley Maitland-Niles was the one that won the soft ass penalty.
Yeah. That was
another Arsenal connection.
Soft.
Tottenham, suck it.
Oh my God, that penalty was so soft.
2 Arsenal players, doesn't matter. Not the point. 2 Arsenal players, thorn in your spine. Don't care.
All right, so end up tying 3-3. That's really all that matters, right?
The second bit. So I found this out, which actually was quite endearing. James Ward-Prowse and Fraser Forster apparently were next door neighbors when Fraser Forster played for Southampton.
Mm-hmm.
And he said they were very good friends. They would frequently barbecue together. Their families would hang out and blah, 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 blah.
Oh, I know where you're going.
He said when I stepped up to take the penalty, I couldn't even look at him because all I was going to do was laugh. And then he just buried it in that fashion.
Apparently, he needs to face his friends when it comes to penalty kicks because he misses all the other ones except for the one against his friend.
It's too close.
He didn't look.
It's too close.
And he didn't look.
He needs to be 30 yards from goal.
It's just how it works for him. We need to talk about Conte.
Yep.
We have to talk about Conte.
It is.
We got to talk about Conte. That's all that matters. Like, I mean, seriously.
Right.
Yes, this segment was supposed to be about Southampton. No, it's about Conte. It's about Conte.
It has
it's
to
only
be.
about Conte.
He stole the show. So the reporter asked. So I have the full transcript here. It takes about 3.5 pages of photos.
Allow me to say the following.
Mm-hmm.
It is something that Spurs fans probably loved hearing him say, but at the same time went, why are you saying that?
Yeah, don't.
Spurs fans right now are going, we don't talk about Conte. No.
Potential show title.
We don't talk about Conte.
No.
That or I was going to walk into the pond.
Yeah, which it could be both, to be honest, because Moana was water-based. All right, so the reporter asked him, a tough penalty decision to take, but at 3-1 up with 15 minutes to go, should your team be drawing that match? Asking the hard-hitting questions. Because obviously the answer is no. Conte responded, quote, if we're going to discuss about the penalty, it means we don't want to see the other situations. Yep. For the penalty, for me, it was not a penalty. I stopped. We closed that situation. The worst situation is what's happening on the pitch. What has been happening in the last few months? What's happening in this, my second season? I think that it's the right moment to speak because I think that after this performance for me, this is unacceptable. We are winning 3-1 in control of the game. And you are able to concede
Please
2
fire
goals.
Me. Please fire me now.
And you
Please
are able to
me.
concede 2 goals and to risk
fire me.
because
Give me
also
my money and let me walk
Fraser
away.
made a fantastic save in one situation. I love how foreigners always say situation. I think it is much better to go into the problem because the problem is that for another time, we showed that we are not a team. We are 11 players that go into the pitch. I see selfish players. I see players that don't want to help each other and don't put their heart into it. First off, today, I prefer to hide the situation and try to speak, to try to improve the spirit, the situation, with the words, with a lot of situations, because about tactical or technical aspect, this is one situation. How many times can you fit the word situation in?
Mouth breather cares more about the scoring title in the Premier League than actually winning anything.
The most important thing, if you want to become a
Son
strong team,
cares more
if you
about
want
the
to become
children than he
competitive,
does
if you
about
want to fight
anything
to
winning
win,
anything.
is the desire, the fire you need to have in your eyes, in your heart. And you have to show this in every
Hugo
moment.
Lloris
In every
already
moment.
won a World Cup. He doesn't give a shit about winning anything.
If
at
I have to
Tottenham.
compare last season and this season, I said to improve. Now we are worse in this aspect. When you are not
Having troubles there?
when you are not a team, everything can happen in any moment. Today is the last situation.
All right.
Don't forget that in the FA Cup we lost to Sheffield United, who play with young players. We were able with a strong team to be dropped in FA Cup. And then a lot of situations, I repeat, that we are not going to improve. And I am not speaking about tactical aspect or technical aspect. And so obviously, blah, 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 blah. This goes along.
Hold on, Mr. Graham. I'll let you continue on that. I just want to say real quick, we have a new listener, a fantastic guy by the name of Dwight that we met at the Dark Horse, who is a very new Spurs supporter. But
Get out now while you still can.
But learning his... knows a lot about his club, learning the history of the club and everything. And
That's an easy learn. You haven't lifted a trophy in fucking 20 years, mate.
Well, the funny thing is I told him, I said, typically when we do this show, I play devil's advocate because you shit all over Spurs, and then you play devil's advocate with Liverpool because I shit all over Liverpool. And honestly, I didn't know that, Dwight, heading into this fucking presser, which is just a fucking shit show.
So we're skipping a couple of questions. We're going to the final question.
We got to get to the big part.
This is it. Why is it happening? He was asked by the reporter. Conte, quote, why? I don't know, because they're used to it here. They're used to it here. They don't play for something important, yeah? They don't want to play under pressure. They don't want to play under stress. It is easy in this way. Tottenham's story is this. 20 years, there's the owner. And
Daniel
they never won
Levy,
something.
I
but
want
why?
you to fire me
The
right
fault
now.
is only for
Please,
the club
Daniel Levy,
or
fire
for
me
every manager that stay
immediately.
here. I have seen the managers that Tottenham had on the bench. You risk to disrupt the figure of the manager and to protect the other situation in every moment. And now, until now, I tried to hide the situation. But now, no. Because I repeat, I don't want to see what I've seen today because this is unacceptable. Also, for the respect for the... in every moment. Also, for the respect for the fans. They follow us, pay for tickets. And to see the team another time to have this type of performance, for me, I repeat, this is unacceptable. We have to think a lot. We have to think about this. We saw the fire last week. What has changed? And he said, I said that I want to see fire, not that I have seen fire. It is different.
All right.
So he basically berated Daniel Levy.
Here, hold on.
Which is
First
awesome.
First and foremost, allow me to say
For
the
them.
following. He's not fucking wrong.
Exactly. No, he's absolutely right.
But this
What
is
I'm
not
worried
what
about,
you do.
What I'm worried about is Tottenham now has somebody really angry calling him out, whistleblowing.
Could have just summed it up very easily.
Didn't bring to the game not just the basics of football, I believe the basics of life.
Oh, shocker. A Tottenham manager at the time said that. Like,
Yeah, but
those players have been called out before. The ownership has been called out before. And we've talked about this with other clubs, like with United, and we talked about it with Everton. At some point, you gotta turn the fucking mirror at yourself. You gotta realize you're the fucking problem.
if you've had a lot of falling out with friends of yours, you should probably take a look in the mirror.
Right.
Most people don't have that.
Right.
The other piece of that situation I would say is, and Mel, why you said it could be summed up briefly in one sentence. There is a common theme. There was a large text group that I'm in for my secondary fantasy team, most of which are Arsenal supporters. There are a few that aren't. And those of us watching the game were terrified of what Rob Holding would do. Because Rob Holding doesn't play a ton of football.
Mm-hmm.
He's not super sharp. But what he has had is the same thing Antonio Conte's had. And in the same weekend, Rob Holding almost gave up an easy-ass goal and just had a jaunt upfield for no reason. Antonio Conte decides to call out the board and everybody else and his own players without even speaking to them first. Apparently, he didn't even go into the dressing room after the game.
Oh,
he stood and waited
shit.
for the fucking interview. Yeah. They've both had hair transplants. And here's what I have a problem with. Men's confidence is affected by their hair. that's true. Veneers,
I'd say
I'll
I'm
take.
pretty fucking confident.
We're at
Listen.
the same time, same comment.
Listen, veneers, I'll take because there's multiple levels of bands in that. Okay. What I won't stand for, you know what? You rainbow laces, you want to be gay? Great. You want to be trans? Go for it. You want to do this, that, the other in the league, and you want to be Muslim, you want to be Catholic, you want to whatever you want to do, black, white, Asian, do what you want to do. Fine. What I won't stand for is fucking hair transplants. Okay? Because it gives these weird ass people a false sense of security and confidence, and they go on stupid rants and jaunts and things that they shouldn't do. And I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. Know your place. You're bald.
2 questions. Do we think Conte makes it through the international break?
No, he has to be gone. If Daniel Levy values his own position at all, he has to be gone. And if he doesn't fire him, he should resign himself.
Second question.
Levy, that is.
Yes, I'm with you. Second question. Does Tottenham completely fuck off Champions League now? You think they're still going to be 4th place?
No.
You think they'll figure it out? They'll be fine?
No, but they can't completely fuck it off. I mean, the players care. Obviously, they should care. If they care about their own careers, they care. That also entails, do Liverpool, Newcastle, and I think it's Brighton that's right there near them. Do they have enough in the tank to get over the line to overtake Tottenham regardless?
Yeah.
Tottenham's best performances when Conte weren't in the dugout.
Yeah, true. Very true.
I mean, think about it. No, the players will not fuck it off. I think they'll be fine and they'll be there. However, this is an untenable situation and they need to get rid of him.
You know what, Mel? I'm just realizing Mr. Graham's gotten a whole lot more lippy since he's grown his hair out.
Fuck hair transplants.
Rounding out the rest of the league, and so that happened. Newcastle 2, Nottingham Forest 1, Brentford 1, Leicester 1, Villa 3, Bournemouth 0, Leeds 4, Wolverhampton 2, Everton 2, Chelsea 2. Isaac with the brace, clearly putting him into the lineup for Wilson has paid dividends. VAR gets it wrong earlier in the match, but they at least finally, the soccer gods look down and there's the handball call right at the end.
Didn't Almiron score the second goal?
No. Penalty from
was
Isaac.
Was that the week before?
That was the week before.
Okay. The first one though here, and for Isaac, Isaac's first one was a tremendous adjustment in his body. That cutback, that cross was well behind him. But
A little swing with the back heel.
if he was 2 inches shorter, there's no chance of that going in.
Mm-hmm.
That was an excellent control of his body. I think he's starting to find his feet, and he may be a real force here.
That's going to make a
this
huge difference for them moving forward. For Forest, it's another loss, man.
Yeah, but it's their first loss at home since I think September, someone said, which is, if you're going to stay up, you got to make home your fortress. And, as long as they can continue to do that, this may be a blip on the radar, they'll stay up.
The only teams they've played at home of the, quote, Big Six was Tottenham, who they lost to, United, and City. So they still have Liverpool, and quote Chelsea, but Chelsea didn't do shit.
I think Graham Potter on Sunday was looking more at you, or on Saturday rather, was looking more at you guys going, I think I could probably do a job there.
That's fair. Very fair. So, but also with that loss, that put Forest behind Everton on goal differential.
Yep.
And the goal differential is about 10 between those two clubs.
And Forest don't score many goals.
Funny for the Bees because they get that nice, solid, just, hey, here we are win against Southampton. But then they really seem to have difficulty. They get the early lead against Leicester, but really after that, Leicester dominated a lot of that match.
Yeah, and this one, the announcer was also very annoyed with Leicester most of the time, too.
Mm-hmm.
But Wout Face obviously had his red card last time. He was suspended for this one. Leicester looked a bit more solid at the back.
Shocker.
Big fucking surprise.
Yeah, shocker.
Y'all say I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Come on. There really wasn't much in the game, though. I mean, Brentford started the brightest of the two, but there was nothing truly clear cut. The goal finally came, but it was a bit weird for them as well. Jensen got it, but it was a scuff shot, and it was deflected.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even meant for him. The pullback was, I think, to Rico Henry.
Yeah.
And it was well behind him, and he just did well to get a toe to it to keep it alive.
Yeah.
And Jensen ran onto it. So it wasn't even supposed to happen, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then Leicester's goal was actually decent. And of those bottom clubs, Leicester have scored more goals than anyone down there.
Right.
So
yeah, the problem is they can't keep
they
anybody.
concede so many because Doug and Val.
Well, and they also have to live and die, honestly, off of
James Maddison.
James Maddison is what it really comes down to. And
I don't know what's wrong with Jamie Vardy.
He did get subbed out when he was limping off the pitch when he got subbed out. So you got to be a little worried about that with Maddison.
I feel like, and that might be problematic. I'm going to save that one.
Fair enough. Villa.
Mel's shaking her head.
Villa completely dominate the Cherries. Now, I want to give Mel a chance to talk about Villa and how they did. But first and foremost, I think it's worth mentioning with the Cherries. You look like you want to say something.
I'll say it on injury time.
Okay.
Subscribe and you'll hear the joke.
Okay. The Cherries, we talk about how they've been gutsy, right? Like the gutsy performance against you and the gutsy game against Liverpool getting the win. The problem is these are the games that keep you up, and you showed nothing. And after a while, there's going to be a couple of these in a row, and you're going to get another big club, and you're not going to be up for it.
Well, but that's what happened with Gary O'Neill when he first took over. There was those 6 games in charge where he went like 2 wins and 4 draws and picked up a ton of points.
Yeah.
And then it was dog shit.
Yeah.
And then he has these gutsy results, and then it's dog shit again.
So we had 4 different matches on at one time. We had the Brentford, we had the Spurs, Southampton, we had Wolves, Leeds, which we'll get to in just a second, and we had Villa, Bournemouth. And honestly, I wouldn't have paid any attention to Villa, Bournemouth if it wasn't for the fact that my wife was sitting next to me paying attention to that match. It was domination by Villa.
Yeah,
absolute domination.
There were a few chances that Bournemouth had, but nothing really of note. I mean, Emmy had to make 2 fantastic saves,
maybe, yeah,
all 90 minutes. I mean, there was one dive and then one I think he pushed onto the crossbar, but that was it.
That was a hot one. Like, up, out, bam, so sexy.
But also, that's why you have a goalkeeper like Emmy. Is the idea is he only gets called upon a couple of times, and when he's there, he does exactly what you need him to do.
And then
Ramsey,
you get the antics of him skull fucking the mascot.
Douglas Luiz got a great goal. Ramsey got on the board. Can't remember the
Ramsey's
third
goal was
Buendia.
excellent, by the way.
Buendia.
The shortest player
Oh,
on the
the
pitch getting a
header.
header.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
An
right.
open-
The header.
An open header.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a wide the fuck open
Well, those
header.
are the only headers he's going to score.
yeah,
Yeah.
just
Because I wouldn't even have to jump to hit the ball away from him.
He jumped higher.
He's 5'3" or some
He
shit.
jumped higher in the air in front of the Gladys Street end 2 years ago than he did for that header or any other header he's had inside the box.
Do you know
100%.
who got a man of the match?
Hmm.
Tyrone Mings.
Yeah.
he had
he has stepped up. The
he
past
had a
few
he had a
games.
little a wee jaunt into the he should have had a goal. He
Yeah,
had a
yeah,
little
he got
jaunt into
very
the
close
into the
to it.
box. Yeah,
He
and
was-
had a proper hit.
grinning the entire game. They all looked like they were having so much fun, and he was shit talking and grinning, and it was great to watch him. And I was wearing my new, thank you, Big Sam, Tyrone Mings jersey just for the kit.
Yes. Kit. Very good.
Damn it, I was so
Kit's,
close.
Kit's the full thing.
Mings.
Then just what's the top?
Shirt.
I was wearing a shirt.
Mings. I would say Mings.
Hopefully.
Mings has definitely, you've seen a complete transformation in him from
Yes.
being with Emery versus Gerard.
Mhm.
Like,
Who's apparently Gerard, by the way, didn't know if you heard this, is in talks to take over it. I think it was Trabzonspor in Turkey,
wow.
which is a
Weird
weird
how
one.
it goes from Crystal Palace to Strasbourg.
I think it was them. I'm not sure. It was one of the Istanbul clubs.
Mhm.
Sure.
By the
I
way,
think it's Trabzonspor, I think.
Danny, you are not alone. When we went to the Dark Horse, I've known Marcus for quite a while. I used to go to games at Fado, and he would be there. But there's another Wolves fan, Danny. There's another Wolves fan.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But Marcus is an old school guy, and Marcus immediately saw
So
Mel
English.
Mel wearing the Villa kit and just like,
Came over
hey,
and hugged me. He goes, I
some-
haven't seen a Villa fan in a long time. You're a unicorn.
a Midlands person. Like, this is great, which was awesome.
And like usual, a Buendia header just added the cherry on top. Ba-ding, 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 ba-ding.
So, like I said, with the great thing though with Marcus, because he's just old school English guy, the whole match when Leeds is up 3-0. For fuck's sake! Jesus, this is why we're going down. What the fuck's your problem? Like, when the red card happened, of course it's a fucking red. Like, just as English can be, and it was so fucking brilliant. I'm just sitting there at the bar, just giggling, and she'd look at me. I'd be like, him.
I
Just
loved
his way.
watching the match there. A lot of people, and everyone would walk in and introduce themselves. Like, oh, I haven't seen you before. I'm so-and-so. That's so-and-so. Good to see you. And it was just fucking great time.
Dark Horse was fucking proper.
And
We definitely need to.
Like, I have never
do a
seen
watching
that
party
many
there.
TV screens in one bar.
Yeah.
Everywhere you looked, and they even had the Wrexham match on.
Well,
Oh,
get
and
it,
Formula
get in with
One.
them. Let's do a
Yeah.
live there.
No
Let's do a
Formula
watch-
One.
Let's do hey,
Formula One.
let's do a watch party there. Get in with them.
You'd like this. They had a hurling on as well.
Oh, come on. It's fucking yeah.
Yeah, Troy.
Give
Bartender
me a
Troy's
stick to
into
fucking
hurling.
hit somebody with. I'm in.
Yep.
Fucking come on.
So Leeds go up 3-0, and Wolves start to charge back, and they make it 3-2. This is the game. Ultimately, Wolves, don't let yourself go down 3-0 at home. What the fuck are you doing? Especially after we kind of talked about how they've been getting results at home against big clubs. Like they beat Spurs, they beat fucking Liverpool, and then you go down 3-0 to fucking Leeds.
Well, so there was a lot of 0-0 this weekend,
Yeah.
right? We saw it in the Spurs game with one of the mistakes that was made by the defender that scored the goal, right? That allowed
Right.
something to happen for Southampton. I can't remember exactly what it was. We saw it here with Johnny. One of the goals of the season. A little half volley from 2 steps inside his own half to lob Meslier, who for some reason came out and decided to do a diving header.
Oh, by the way, the second time he did that in the first half too, which clearly gives a guy like Johnny the opportunity to go, oh, if that fucker does that again,
Yeah.
I'm going to make him pay.
And apparently that was the theme of the week as well. Because in the Europa League, Aaron Ramsdale got fucking lobbed from a step inside his own half.
Yep, exactly.
That was just an excellent shot. He even backtracked and was there, dove for it and missed it because it was that good of an effort. And this one, Johnny, I mean, stand up and be counted, son. And then sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up because of what you did. What you did a few minutes later, and got yourself a straight red.
Yeah, Jesus. Which is funny, too, because the initial call gets a yellow card for Ayling because Ayling just clocks him right in the nuts with his fucking hand. But as he's clocking him in the nuts with his hand, you go to VAR. Johnny's
he stood on his knee.
Shit high right through with the studs.
Not even close. He could have broken his leg.
It was so, like I said, Marcus is just sitting there going, Marcus is watching it just going, it's a fucking red.
Now, why
do you do that?
Now, like I said, I don't like seeing people get hurt. But after Luke Ayling scored that second goal, and we've said it before about how shit his Robbie Keane impersonation goal celebration is, it was shit again. He deserved Johnny to hit him. Johnny deserves a fucking
little crack
certificate for what he did for the game.
So it's 3-0. They get the 2 goals. They make it 3-2. They're fucking charging. They are charging. And it really looks like Wolves are going to get that third. And then the fucking missed call. There's a ball taken away from Adama Traore that ultimately results in a goal. Now, I will say the following. Play to the fucking whistle. Every single Wolves player stopped. They stopped playing. And because of that, you deserve to get scored on. But you look at VAR, and how is it not clear and obvious that there is a handful of jersey pulled an entire foot away from the player because the other player is 3 feet away? Like, it is so blatantly obvious. And the ref...
That VAR should lose his job as well.
The ref should lose his job. He went to the screen and looked at that. Looked at it and went, nah, looks good. Everything's fine. Yeah. Looks good to me. I mean, that was deplorable.
But now there's also the age-old adage, play to the whistle.
Yep.
And
play to the whistle, and that play doesn't matter. They don't have to go to the screen if you play to the whistle.
I've been coaching soccer since I was in high school. Getting my community service hours, helping my brother's teams and stuff. And then continued that on when I had children, and I've been coaching them. And I've coached, county teams, county level teams. Yep. We've coached together.
Yeah.
The first thing we always say is don't surround a referee. Let us do the talking for you.
Yeah.
The second thing we always say is play to the fucking whistle.
Yeah.
Because until that play is dead, it's not dead.
Right. Keep playing.
And the entire Wolves team stopped. That in and of itself, regardless of anything else, is a schoolboy mistake.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you got shit on. Yes, you got shit on. The referee should have seen it. He didn't. The VAR should have told him to look at it. They did. He decided to ignore it again. That's the referee's prerogative. He's a dickhead and should be disciplined. I agree. But if you had stuck to your task, does Rodrigo score that goal? No. I don't know.
No, probably not. Probably not.
Right.
Because it was so far away, the buildup of that play.
Yep.
You should have been able to stop that.
Or you could take the Sam Graham and Rob Holmes proven effective method, and when that doesn't get given, drop kick him in the fucking chest.
Yeah.
Make the referee make a call and stop the play.
Right. Foul the guy. Foul the guy.
Foul him hard. Let him know you're there.
Yeah.
This is the old English.
Yeah.
Let him know you're there. Give him a fucking good one. Let him know you're there.
And they
funny. Just didn't. They did the Portuguese. Hey! Oh.
And funny, we talked about last week how we thought Wolves, they were going to get the opportunities at home and they were going to find wins. And they didn't find a win, and they also got beat badly.
And apparently
very badly.
Yeah, and apparently also the bench red that was given was to Nunez. Yeah.
He lost his fucking mind on him.
But they said he lost his mind on the referee, but I heard the announcer say that there was a push on either the fourth official or the linesman. Now, I didn't see it.
So he pulled what we like to call a metro.
Yeah. Exactly right. Thanks for taking the punchline.
I'm with you. We said it together. It was a shared punchline, Mr. Graham. A shared punchline.
Is that some woke Sam stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Woke Sam. I'll tell you what, Chelsea completely dominated the match against Everton. Absolutely, positively.
But Dice loves the bridge.
Yeah. And
I don't know if the earthworms taste better there or what, but he just loves the bridge.
And Everton were gritty. They came back fucking twice. I think Potter made him a big mistake in going uber defensive down the stretch. And Ellis Sims, stand up and be counted, son.
Good for him to get his goal.
Because Kobali is not an easy man to push over.
No.
And that kid shoved him aside like it was nothing. Now, the other thing we also have to recognize, too, is don't start thinking that Ellis Sims needs to start every week. He's
yeah, be the same thing you did with Anthony Gordon.
Yeah.
I mean,
Settle down.
Fair enough.
It was a great goal. You know what? We've learned this is a situation we can use him in. We need some physicality. We need a little something to the team. That's perfect.
Correct.
But there's really not much more to say. It was for Chelsea. They're scoring goals, right?
Yes.
Which is what they haven't been doing. So you assume this is going to eventually equal points in the right direction. For Everton, this is a game. There is no reason why you should be walking out of that building with a point, and you did. And it might be why you survive.
Correct. Absolutely. 100%.
Sure money.
This is the segment where we give you our bets to better inform your bets. I lost a game.
I mean, my bet's better informed.
I think I'm down 2,800 now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 2,900. No, 2,800.
Look, I put my money into a tried true professional, which is Ivan Toney, who knows a thing or two about making a bet, and I hit. So I am now down only $1,472.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
Funny, the number didn't change. 8.3% of the time. Works 100% of the time.
Quality.
And in 2 weeks, Liverpool, I'm looking right at you.
Nice. Do we have Patrick O or no?
Not tonight.
All right, good.
He missed, and he'll in 2 weeks, in a week, he'll tell us about
His next
how much,
one, because
also how much he's down as well.
All right, good.
But he missed.
So, like I said, I'm down 2,800 now, and my cup of losers says fucking Tottenham again. What do I think? Shit. If you know, you know.
Yep.
Okay. There it goes. And that's gone. So we are not making bets tonight. Obviously, it is the international break coming up. There will still be content for you to listen to next week, but there is nothing to bet on yet. So next week when we do the show, we'll be making our bets for the weekend and picking this right back up.
All right. So no need to throw into it. But Mel, how'd the bird do?
The kitty hit with Arsenal, so she sits at 13-14. Reached out to me to let me know the heat has settled down.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
And she will be back in town shortly.
The Scallucci brothers are no longer around to see her. I haven't seen any well-dressed men in the backyard, professional businessmen looking out for Kitty at all.
I was just out there.
I was asking about her financial, you're wearing a polo shirt. These gentlemen would be in the finest tailored Italian suits.
There was a guy across the street with binoculars. I'm not sure what that was
gotta
about.
Keep an eye out on
It's
that.
just a peeping Tom because you're
Graham,
not wearing a
would've-
bra again.
You would have liked Spursy Dwight that we met at the Dark Horse.
Would I?
He was also complaining about his parlay being fucked by Tottenham. You know what I told him? Remember to gamble legally and responsibly.
Championship Corner.
I've fallen and I can't get up. Oh no.
Blackpool absolutely dominated QPR 6-1 on Tuesday.
Wow.
Millwall 2-1 over Swansea. Preston 2-1 over Rotherham. Watford 3-0 over Birmingham. Wigan and Coventry 1-1 draw. Borough and Stoke, that's Middlesbrough and Stoke, not Snoke, who is somebody from Star Wars. 1-1 draw as well. On Wednesday, you had Blackburn winning 2-1 over Reading. Cardiff 1-1 over West Brom. Huddersfield and Norwich played to a 1-1 draw. Burnley over Hull 3-1 in preparation for their absolute fucking drubbing at the weekend.
Jesus Christ.
Luton 1-0 over Bristol City, and Sheffield United 2-1 over Sunderland. That brings you to the weekend where only half the teams played because the other half were supposed to play FA Cup squads or they were playing in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Coventry 4-1 over Blackpool, crashing right back down to earth.
Yeah. No shit.
Middlesbrough 4-0 over Preston. Huddersfield, the Warlock is back in charge. 1-0 over Millwall.
There we go. Get in.
You had Birmingham City 1-0 over QPR. Reading and Hull played to a 1-1 draw. Cardiff 1-0 over Rotherham. Stoke and Norwich City played to an exhilarating rainy Saturday in Stoke. 0-0. Sunderland and Luton 1-1. Watford 1-1 with Wigan. And on Sunday, you had Swansea beating Bristol City 2-0. That leaves your table looking something like this. Burnley and Sheffield United, having played at the weekend, both now have games in hand on the rest of the table, essentially. But Burnley are on top with 83 points, 13 clear of Sheffield United. Middlesbrough on 67 points in third. Luton in fourth on 64. Blackburn in fifth on 61. Millwall in sixth, occupying that last playoff spot with 60 points. Norwich in seventh on 57. Coventry in eighth, also on 57, and only one goal separates them in goal difference. West Brom in ninth on 55. Watford in 10th on 55. 3 goals separate them. And then you have Sunderland in 11th on 53. And Preston North End in 12th on 53. You then have a full 5 points down to 13th Stoke. So now I think we can stop talking about everyone after we get to 12th place, because all of those clubs still have a realistic view of the playoffs because there's still 804 games left.
Mm-hmm.
You get on the bottom of the table, you got Wigan in 24th place on 31 with a minus 26. Blackpool in 23rd on 35 with a minus 18.
2 newly promoted sides.
Huddersfield you have in 22nd spot on 36 with a minus 21. Come on, Neil. And then you've got Cardiff City in 21st, just outside the relegation zone on 39 with a minus 13. Rotherham in 20th on 40 with a minus 10. And QPR 19th on 42 with a minus 21. So Neil Warnock has a chance to get out of it. However, the 2 teams in front of him, I'm sure he's managed both of them.
Yeah.
I know he's managed one of them for a fact. Cardiff, rather, excuse me. They do have a much better goal difference than Huddersfield do, and they're 3 points clear. They also have a game in hand.
So a couple of thoughts there. For Cardiff and Huddersfield, both of those are teams that it would be absolutely catastrophic to go down to League One. So I'm sure both of those sides are hoping that they could knock down Rotherham, who's been up and down. They're the yo-yo team of League One and Championship. And the other one is Old Burnley on 83 points. They could ultimately end up with 100 points. It would be something they could share with competitively with Manchester City, although there's nothing else that they could share competitively with Manchester City, which we're going to get on to in injury time.
Did you see how much? This should be brought to the masses, which, just like the joke about Fulham being either the antithesis to themselves or so much themselves that they did what they did, is Pep big up in Vincent Kompany that much? Is this his Nathan Redmond moment, but for another manager?
Yeah.
Where he just parades how good, you're so good. And Vincent Kompany, I don't fucking want the City job.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Leave me alone.
I know you want to retire, but I'm not ready to take them over. I'm a championship manager. That's where I am.
All right. That's going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Sammy, any parting words?
No, there are a couple of nice things that happened at Bournemouth. And actually, I can't remember the lad's name now, to be honest, which is stupid on my part, that I will need to atone for next time by having his name in front of me.
By the way, because we all had to
find it quickly.
pee so bad, I didn't get to do my punchline at the O, so that happened. So I'll go ahead and do it while you research.
Yeah.
By the way, because it means nothing because it wasn't in anything in the Premier League, Erling Haaland scored 8 goals this week.
Oh, yeah. That did happen. Yeah.
Oh, so that happened.
David Brooks is his name.
Yeah.
Diagnosed in 2021 with cancer, missed all of 2022, was declared cancer-free in May of last year after undergoing his treatment and a little surgery. Worked his way back to fitness and came on this weekend against Villa. And the Villa faithful, to their credit, full standing ovation for him.
Oh, good on him.
well done. That's we like in this section to call out people that have not done life appropriately, but Villa in this situation and David Brooks himself have done life appropriately.
Excellent.
And I want to make sure they get recognized for that. Other than that, I don't think that there was anything else to really talk about besides the Last of Us disease infiltrating both Fulham and Wolves' squad.
Yeah, clearly.
Whatever that is.
And we're going to go ahead and get into that in injury time. Should you want to check out injury time, Sam, how do you go about doing that?
One last time for you today. It's patreon.com/DU Football Show. Just sign up to that $5 tier to get all of our extra content, which is injury time, of course, our preview of the upcoming week. This week, it is our review of the FA Cup, obviously, because it is the international break. But then you also get Sound Check, which is our catch up from the weekend, what we've been up to for the last week, just on a personal level, some fun stories and insights into who we are as human beings, and our actual sound check. One time you couldn't hear two of us. We still released the fucking show. Thanks for your $5.
That happened, actually.
And if that's not a glowing endorsement, I don't know what the fuck is.
Say it like an echogram.
Hello. Because it didn't record, get it?
That, by the way, Graham, that's happened twice. There was the one time I did it, but it happened when she did it too.
What you're saying it happened twice.
Till next week, everybody.
Get low.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston. Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stuff of my lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Hit the fucking mute button!